What's up, YouTube? PokePrimer here, Prime ready to deliver you our Week 1 matchup here in the PLW Majors. This week we are taking on Argus and the Calculated Castforms. His team consists of Tapu Koko, Koko-Lucha, Swampert, Kyurem, Bronzong, Licky, Mega Aerodactyl, Bisharp, Tangrowth, Arcanine, and Tentacruel. So very, very scary team. Good hazard removal, good Firewater Grass core, actually amazing Firewater Grass core. His Fairy Dragon Steel core is really solid offensively with the defensive backbone of Bronzong. Just a very, very solid team in general that can give our stall team a little bit of an issue, but I think we can pull off this matchup. First one we're going to be bringing is a specially defensive Mega Sableye. I feel like that's just overall best that can actually take a hit from the Tapu Koko. Overall, just take hits from the Tapu Koko. We can also burn things pretty freely. Koko-Lucha can't do a lot to us. And we can burn it and then beat it down. We try to burn a lot of things. We're bringing Willow and Toxic because there's mons that I want burn, there's mons I want Toxic. And I think that'll be overall good for us. We have Recover and Shadow Ball as well. Shadow Ball, just overall good coverage. This set's kind of walled by Licky because if it has the Heal Bell, it's going to be a huge, massive threat for us to deal with. Hopefully we can kill that thing ASAP. But if not, then we're going to have a lot of problems in this matchup. I think Sableye will do a very good job in walling the things it needs to wall, so that'll be great. Next up, we're bringing Dewey, the Sandslash, Assault Vested Sandslash with Rapid Spin, Earthquake, Knockoff, and Gyro Ball. We're bringing 252 HP, 152 attack with a Brave Nature, and 104 in Spadef. The 252 plus 104 in Spadef with the Assault Vest allows us to not be too KO'd by Specs Koko. And if he's a physical Koko, then we are also going to be able to eat that pretty nicely. We take on both variants of Koko very, very well. We're a good switch into both. Ability doesn't actually matter because it's either Sand Veil or Sand Rush. It doesn't matter. Rapid Spin, keep hazards off our side of the field. Earthquake to hit things like the Koko and stuff like that. We have the Knockoff to catch Bronzong on switch-ins. We have Gyro Ball, which will hit the Kyurem and the Mega Aerodactyl extremely hard, which is very, very important. Just overall, Sandslash is a very, very solid Pokemon for this matchup. It does really, really well with what it's meant to do, and I'm really, really looking forward to using it. Next up, we needed some more offense in this game, so we're going to be bringing Curtis Haxel, the Haxorus, Groundium Z, Dragon Dance, Dragon Claw, Earthquake, and Poison Jab. A little bit of HP investment, but mostly just going into speed and attack. We want to outspeed that Kyurem after a Dragon Dance, so we can KO it with a Dragon Claw. We have the Earthquake for the Groundium Z to blow back the Bronzong if it's a Levitate variant, because we do have the Mold Breaker to go past that, which is really, really nice. And the Earthquake will just do a lot of damage to things like the Bisharp and the Arcanine as well, and the Tentacruel. We can blow back a lot of those things. And we have the Poison Jab to hit the Tangrowth with as hard as possible, as well as the Tapu Koko, because let's be real, I think Poison Jab or Earthquake doesn't really matter. They'll both do enough to the Koko that I can justify it. So that is our Curtis Haxel set. Next up, we're bringing Spiky Burb, the Zapdos. A little bit of physical defense investment, but mostly into speed so they can outpace things like the Kyurem. Why do I have HP Grass twice? What the fuck? What was this meant to be? Probably just Toxic. I don't know how that happened, but we ended up with HP Grass twice, but that's fine. We have Thunderbolt, HP Grass, Toxic, and Roost. Roost just to keep ourselves healthy, HP Grass to hit the Swampert, Thunderbolt to hit everything else, and then we have Toxic to whittle down his team. This thing can actually take hits from Koko-Lucha really well since it resists its dual stabs, which is really great, and just an overall good way of taking on Koko-Lucha. Plus the static could potentially pop on things like the Lucha or the Bronzong if I can get on a switch-in or something like that and get the para off. I think that'd be really great. The next one we're bringing is going to be Moonduck our Cresselia with the Colbur Berry, Moonlight, Psyshock, HP Fighting, and Calm Mind. If we can get up a Calm Mind or two, that'd be great. We could potentially sweep him with that. Being just overall mixed bulky handles a lot of different options for his team, which is also really good. HP Fighting is there. HP Fighting plus the Colbur is there so we can beat the Bisharp. Bisharp's a big threat for this Mon, and also it allows us to, if we can get a Calm Mind or two up, to break through the Licky eventually. So that's important. Not much else to say there. Pretty straightforward. But hopefully Cresselia can put in a lot of work this week. And the last one we're bringing is going to be Sanic our Shaman. Shaman is here with the Seed Flare, Air Slash, Leech Seed, and Psychic. This is just an offensive Leech Seed variant. Put a lot of pressure on his team with offensive Leech Seed. We can really whittle down the majority of his team with Leech Seeds, and honestly, his Tangrowth, even if it's Assault Vest, doesn't really want to switch in on a Seed Flare, because if it goes -2, we can potentially Air Slash it and beat it down. But yeah, I think the Shaman set will do really well. Air Slash, Seed Flare, Air Slash, and Psychic hit the majority of his team very, very hard. I think it'll go very well. I kind of wanted to fit Earth Power on this moveset, but it just didn't seem to fit anywhere. So hopefully this will work out pretty nicely. And without further ado, let us get into the battle. Alright guys, we are here for our Week 1 matchup against Argus and the Calculated Castforms. This is a tough team to start off our run with this semi-stall squad that we drafted, but you saw the team that we built. Pretty cool stuff going on here. He brings the Bronzong, the Tapu Koko, the Halucha, the Arcanine, the Licky Licky, and the Bisharp. All of these things are problems. Every single thing here is a problem and not something I don't want to deal with. But we're going to see how this match plays out. We're going to switch sides, obviously, because we have to be on our side. He's going to lead with Tapu Koko, as I'm going to lead with my Haxers. Literally, shit lead matchup to start with. I have to go out into my Sandslash here, as he reveals himself to be more than likely Scarfed, or at least some kind of variant along those lines, because of that crit Dazzling Gleam on my AV Sandslash. He's going to go now into his Licky Licky as I go for the knockoff. Revealing that he was leftovers, which is fine. He's going to go for the wishes. I'm just going to go for an EQ. I kind of figured he was going to go for wish or something like that right there. I need to preserve my HP on this thing though, so I'm going to go out into my Sableye as he's going to go for the knockoff. So he's back up to full, and Sableye just kind of out here chilling. I'm going to Mega Evolve here, and he's going to wish, and I'm going to go for a Toxic. So I'm going to get the Toxic on him. No big deal. And he's actually going to pass this wish off into Tapu Koko, as I'm going to double out into my Shaman, which works really, really well for me. He's going to reveal that he has the U-turn here, which is real cool. And I'm totally understanding why he had U-turn. I just actually go for the Leech Seed here, which is really, really good for me between the leftovers and the Leech Seed recovery. I'm doing real decent against his Bronzong. I go on to Sableye here, as he actually makes the smart play and bounces out into his Koko. I know I can take a Dazzling Gleam, so I'm actually going to Toxic his Tapu Koko. I think that will work well for me in the long run, and I know I can recover against certain things later on in the match if I have to. So I'm going to go now out into my Sandslash, essentially trying to sack it, but he's going to be able to go out now into his Licky Licky freely on this thing, because he can't do a lot of damage, or I can't do a lot of damage to it. I go for the knockoff here, as he's just going to get worn down a little bit by that Toxic. I'm going to switch now into my Haxers, because I think he's going to go for like a Wish or a Heal Bell here, which he does go for the Wish. And I think I could probably set up on this thing a little bit. So I'm going to go for that D-Dance on his Licky Lickies. He's going to go for that Heal Bell. So I'm feeling real confident. I'm feeling really, really confident right now. He's revealed Wish and Heal Bell so far, and Knockoff. So I know he can't do shit to me. He goes for the Knockoff, and oh shit, he sees I'm a Z Crystal holder, and now I'm at +2. So he goes out into his Koko. I'm actually going to go for a Dragon Claw, which is totally fine. I'm not really too worried about that. I'm actually going to go for the Poison Jab now, as he's going to go into his Halucha. So I'm actually going to do half to that Halucha, which is real great. He's going to Dual Chop me, which is really cool prep that he brought the Dual Chop. But it's not going to be able to kill me, and then the Poison Jab is going to be able to knock him out. Now, he goes Arcanine here, and I knew the Extreme Speed was coming. But for one, I did not think that I would be able to set up against anything else in this game. Two, the only other thing I could really have seen Haxor's doing, because if that is a Scarf Koko, that is a Scarf Koko. And I think it's a Scarf Koko. Honestly, I think it's a Scarf Koko. If that is Scarf Koko, like I think it is, I won't be able to outspeed it unless I get to +2, which is why I set up to +2, because I was considering that being an option. So, yeah, that's a thing. But to be completely honest, too, I actually almost set up to +3. But again, that would have gotten me nowhere in the long run. But maybe outspeeding the Halucha. But that's just another thing out in the world. But yeah, we're not too worried about that. But there was nothing else I could do. I kind of had to sack Axors here. It's unfortunate that I didn't get to show up the ground EMZ tech on the Bronzong, but it's fine. It's whatever. He's going to be able to kill me with that extreme speed. It's fine. I'm going to go now into my Zapdos because I'm kind of thinking like maybe I want to try to get the static on this thing if I can. I go for the Thunderbolt, just kind of wanting to get damage off, as I'm going to hit that top Koko coming in. But that's like the strongest move I can hit this thing with. Mind you, I will tell you, my Zapdos set got messed up in transferring it to my laptop for over break. My Zapdos set got fucked up. I don't know how it got so fucked up, but it did. For some reason, HP Grass got copied twice instead of Toxic, which I had changed it to, as you saw, I believe, in the Team Builder. I think I changed it to Toxic or something else along those lines. But I changed the set. I made sure that I had 4 unique moves on the moveset, and turns out that it copied the HP Grass twice. So I essentially was playing this game with 3 moves because I could only have the Thunderbolt, the HP Grass, and the Roost on my Zapdos. Which, having the Toxic would have been really great. I knew Koko was coming in there, and I wanted to Toxic Koko again. And it would have put a lot more pressure on his team in the long run, I think, if I had the Toxic, but that's unfortunate. So I do swap out into Sandslash here, as he is going to reveal the HP Ice. Now, thinking he's obviously Scarfed at this point, I go out into my Moonduck, my Cresselia, as I'm going to be able to set up a Calm Mind as he switches into his Bisharp. Now, he's going to go for the knockoff and reveal my Colbur Berry, which is great. As I'm going to go for the HP Fighting, and he definitely has HP investment because, again, HP Fighting did a min of like 100% to just a straight up offensive one, so he has to have some form of offensive or HP investment to be able to live that HP Fighting. I was very upset to see that happen, but whatever. Now, this turn I almost went for Moonlight. I hovered over it for like 10 minutes. And, well, not 10 minutes, it was like, he wouldn't have sat there for this long, but I hovered over it decently long. I was like, oh, I want to do the Moonlight play so bad because I feel like he's sucker punching. But I didn't want to take the chance of him going for an SD, so I do just go for the HP Fighting again, as he is going to go for the sucker punch, bring me down real low, and I did not like that, but it's what I had to deal with. It's fine. I'm not too worried about it. He's going to go into Arcanine. Again, I'm in a bad spot here. So I actually go out into Zapdos, and I take this Flare Blitz. I'm like, oh, that hurt so bad. Oh, that hurt so bad. But I'm just going to go for the Thunderbolt again, as he's going to switch. Or actually go for the Roost as he switches into Tapu Koko. But that's my best possible play. He's going to go for the Thunderbolt and bring me right back down. But I'm going to Thunderbolt him back and bring him down decently as well. And again, he has not shown himself switching moves. He's fast, and he's faster than everything I brought. So obviously, I'm pretty sure that like he's Scarfed at this point. So I go into Shaman, knowing he's probably locked into that Thunderbolt, and I go for the Leech Seed, as Bronzong is going to come in once again, and we are able to get ourselves back up to full. Now I'm going to go for the Seed Flare on this turn, and I'm actually able to catch the Tapu Koko coming back in and kill the Koko. Now, looking back on my team builder, and I'm actually going to pull up his team in a separate tab. I'm going to pull up the PLW document in a separate tab so I can try to make sense of this. I brought Seed Flare, Leech Seed, Air Slash, and Psychic. Okay? That was my moveset. Looking at his team. Air Slash still hits the Koko-Lucha, so that's important. Psychic hits the Tentacruel. You know what move also hits the Tentacruel that, also hits the Arcanine and, also hits the, Tapu Koko and shit like that? Earth Power. You know what move would have won me the game? Earth Power. You know why it would have won me the game? Because look at what I have left versus what he has left, right? He has a Licky Licky. He has a Bronzong, and he has the Arcanine. Arcanine is going to take a lot of recoil damage because of Flare Blitz, and if I had Earth Power, I would have put him in range to die from the recoil that he's about to take from this Flare Blitz. And then it would be Mega Sableye and Cresselia taking on the combination of Bronzong and Licky Licky. And in the long run, I'm 90% sure that that stall battle is won by Cress and Sableye. But I go for the Psychic. It's my most damaging move. I do a decent chunk, and the Flare Blitz is going to come out, but he's going to live the recoil. It's unfortunate, but it's whatever. I go out to Cresselia here. I have to sack Cress to let him die. He could have... I feel like he was locked in, so that he had to do that, which sucks, but whatever. So now it's just Mega Sableye alone, and I could have maybe still won this game. But initially my thought was I'm gonna Willow him because I want to weaken the damage on his knockoffs, and he can't really do anything to me after that, so it's no big deal. That was a poor play, and I understand that. So I go for the recover here first. And so I'm going to go for the Willow and miss. That is the most happy accident I've ever seen. Because thinking about it, obviously he's more than likely going to have Heal Bell. Or something along those lines. He has revealed the Heal Bell at this point. So I want to stall those out. Right? That's something that I want to do. I want those gone. So what forces people to Heal Bell more often? Toxic. I wanted to Toxic this thing, and I was going to click Toxic. But I rushed and somehow ended up misclicking. And she's going to go for the knockoff here, and I misclicked and went for Willow and burned him. And right there, I basically just told him straight up GG, because based upon my moveset, I'm gonna play the stall game for a few turns. Based upon my moveset between the recover, I'm actually gonna boost the speed for this part. Between Recover, Willow, Toxic, and Shadow Ball, I can't touch this thing now anymore, and it's just going to be me clicking moves that do nothing every turn, and with the burn doing only 6%, it doesn't force him to Heal Bell at all anytime soon, or even go for Wishes, and at this point, I recognize that I completely lost this game because of that misclick on the Willow, and I'm really upset with myself for it, because if I had gone for the Toxic, if I'd actually gone for the Toxic, I probably could have still pulled this off, because I would have been able to preserve my Shadow Balls and forced him to go for a lot more Heal Bells and stuff, and I could have potentially stalled him out of those pretty easily. With Sableye, I probably could have done that really, really well. It's unfortunate, but whatever. Hopefully we can pick up the win next week. Now that I'm not rush building to try to get all the builds done before break or whatnot, and I'm not rushing to get so much done that things kind of get put to the wayside, or I maybe miss things here and there. So now that I'm back home, hopefully we can bounce back and start picking up W's with this ridiculous stall team. But thank you all for watching. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like down below and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, I am PokePrimer, and I am signing off. Peace.